I want to start this video by saying that, when I practice with the scripts of movies and TV shows and YouTubers, I only put like 5 minutes clip in the videos, right? In my videos. In reality, you know that when I practice with the scripts of movies and TV shows, for instance, I practice with Before Sunrise and Normal People, or YouTubers, Kennedy, when I practice with my scripts, I practice for about like at least 2 hours, approximately 2 hours a day. And I'm only able to put like 5 minutes clip out of those 2 hours of my study routine, In today's video, once again, I'm gonna put another clip from last day where I practiced with Before Sunrise and where I explain some of the words, meanings from Before Sunrise, okay guys? But what was it? I am learning bullshit. But what was that I am learning bullshit? So what was that I am learning bullshit? That's very condescending, that I've been practicing with Before Sunrise for the past few weeks, so that means I've been learning new words. And now let's talk about the new words that I learned from Before Sunrise. One of the words that I learned from Before Sunrise is hoof.
He's the cow. Yes, I am the cow, and the cow's a bit weird. The cow has a disease.
He's the cow, yeah, I am the cow. He's the cow, yeah, I am the cow. And the cow's a bit weird, the cow has a disease. The cow's a bit weird, the cow has a disease.
She's acting a bit strange, like a dog. If someone throws a stick, she fetches it and brings it back, and she can smoke with hoofs.
She's acting a bit strange, like a dog. If someone throws a stick, she fetches it. If someone throws a stick, she fetches it, and she can smoke with hooves and everything. Hooves. I didn't know the meaning of hoof, and I looked it up. I searched for the picture for this word, and I will directly insert it in the video, guys. This is the meaning of hoof.
I went to this Quaker wedding once, and it was fantastic. What they do is the couple comes in and they kneel down in front of the whole congregation.
I went to this Quaker wedding once, and it was fantastic. What they do is the couple comes in and they kneel in front of the whole congregation. Congregation, this is another word I want to talk about. I knew this word meaning from House of Cards. I learned this word from 6 years ago from House of Cards.
Tell me, are the masters in your congregation?
They are. They come every Sunday.
We've got a special guest with us today. He asked for the opportunity to share a few words with us this morning.
We got a special guest today. He asked for the opportunity to share. A few words with us this morning.
Our very own Congressman, Frank Underwood.
Our very own Congressman, Frank Underwood.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you, Reverend, and thanks to that choir for that beautiful hymn.
Good morning. Thank you, Reverend, and thanks to that choir for that beautiful hymn. Thank you, Reverend, and thanks to this beautiful choir for this beautiful. Thanks to that choir for that beautiful hymn. It's so hard to pronounce this word, by the way. What is the meaning of congregation? Congregation is basically, I'm gonna directly insert this scene here. People who go to religious places and who pray in those places, like a church or a mosque or a synagogue. People who go to those places, those religious places, and pray in those places together, all together, make up this community. This community that we see in church or mosque or synagogue, basically in religious places, it's called congregation. Condescending, let's talk about this word, condescending.
Is he a stranger to you?
I guess so.
Oh, you will be all right. He's learning.
That is a stranger to you? I guess so. You'll be alright, he's learning. That is a stranger to you? That is a stranger to you? I guess so. You'll be alright, he's learning. You'll be alright, he's learning. So that is condescending, guys.
I mean, what was it? I am learning bullshit. I mean, that's way condescending.
But what was that I am learning bullshit? What was that I am learning bullshit? That's very condescending, Condescending. For instance, guys, condescending. I remember this word from House of Cards because I learned this word with House of Cards. That's both passive aggressive and condescending.
Is this your subtle way of saying that I'm out of shape?
No, it's my way of suggesting you could be in better shape.
That sounds both passive-aggressive and condescending.
Just plain aggressive and true.
Is this your subtle way of saying that I am out of shape? No, it's my way of suggesting you could be in a better shape. That sounds both passive-aggressive and condescending. When I was practicing with Before Sunrise, as you see, just a few hours ago, I came across this word condescension, and I know this word condescension again from House of Cards. Condescension, what is the meaning of condescension? Now, if you look down on people, if you think that you know better than people and you make it seem like the people around you are ignorant and they know nothing.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
They are ignorant. So if you look down on people, that means you're condescending them, okay? So there's the best example I can give you is you know nothing, Jon Snow, okay? So basically, obviously this is a love language, you know? I wish I had someone that told me I know nothing. If someone looks down on you and if someone thinks that they know better than you and they kind of like try to insult you, that means they are condescending you. These people are condescending. Okay, another word. Let's talk about another word. Tedious.
Tomorrow and all your remaining days will be exactly like today. A tedious collection of hours.
Tomorrow and all your remaining days will be exactly like today. A tedious collection of hours.
And you will have no new passions and no new thoughts and no new travels. And when you die, you'll be completely forgotten. You know? 50 shillings, please.
You will have no new passions, no new thoughts, no new travels. And when you die, you will be completely forgotten. 50 shillings, please. And when you die, you will be completely forgotten. 50 shillings, please. I feel like we talked about this before. If something is so boring, that means it's so tedious. For instance, let's say you're listening to Biden's speech and you can say that, oh, it's so tedious, it's so boring. So that means it's so tedious. For instance, I can say that, guys, learn English by memorizing words is so tedious. That means learn English by memorizing words is so boring and frustrating, okay? So in order to avoid this problem, you need to practice with scripts because practicing with scripts is not tedious. It's not frustrating. Practicing with script is fun. I'm just as big a loser as he is. I'm just as big a loser as he is. Boring and motivated, and you made the right choice and you're happy. I want to talk about something that is very important. Some of you ask this question like, will it be okay to practice with audiobooks or practice with books that have like the most realistic dialogues in them? So I get those questions like, how is it different from reading books? How is it different from learning English with audiobooks, etc.? Okay, my answer to you when it comes to learning English with script is, now I want to give you one example here. But this was no Starbucks, says gbry, who has been working for more than a decade to introduce Turkish unique customs and reverence for coffee to the United States through her business, the Turkish Coffee Lady. Now, do you see this reverence thing? Reverence. I don't know if you know the meaning of reverence. So when it comes to reverence, when it comes to this word, two things come to my mind. The one thing is reverence. Do you know what reverent means? This morning, I showed you guys, how I remember the meaning of congregation from House of Cards. And in the same exact scene, there is this guy in this scene, at this funeral or church scene, reverend. This guy is called reverend. Reverend is basically a priest.
Our very own Congressman, Frank Underwood.
Thank you, Reverend. Hang on a second. Reverend.
Congressman.
Nice to see you again. I wish it was under better circumstances.
Terrible, isn't it?
It's just terrible.
Hang on a second. Wait, hang on a second. Congressman, Reverend, nice to see you again. I wish it was under better circumstances. Terrible, isn't it? Terrible, isn't it? It is terrible. Yeah, it's just terrible. Reverend and reverence, they are so close to each other. And the other thing is reverence. How do I remember reverence? The meaning of reverence, I remember this word from The Crown.
Near holy reverence shown for the crown by the people of Britain is a fact of life, as the recent coronation has shown.
From my old studies, when I was practicing with Crown, there is this scene. Most of the words that I see, I remember them from TV shows, from movies, from my scripts. The reason is because when you practice with the scripts of movies and TV shows, you dive into those worlds. For instance, I practice with House of Cards, okay? I'm at the funeral. I am at the church service. I am at the funeral with friends. Or I am just hanging out, in Vienna with my girlfriend, and this fortune teller comes. You know what I mean? when you practice with scripts, there are emotions involved. And when you practice with scripts, the reason why I'm saying this, turn off your computer, turn off your PC and everything, turn off your phone, is because you kind of like lose yourself in the story. When someone tells me like reverence, directly the scene from Crown or House of Cards comes to my mind, the reason is because I was there, I've been there. I know it sounds so crazy, but don't you, when you read books, don't you escape to these roles? The same thing happens when you practice with scripts. You lose yourself in a story. You're escaping to those worlds while you practice in English. When you learn English with reading books, there will be no vivid images that you can constantly, picture in your head. It will be blurry because there is no movie of it, There is no TV show of it. There is no scenes of it. There is no motion of it. But when you practice with the scripts of movies and TV shows, there are those vivid, alive characters that increases your chance to learn English efficiently, learn English better. And you might ask me like, Arsan, is it good to listen to audiobooks or to learn English with audiobooks? Reading books out loud. I mean, I would love to read books, guys. Look at my library, okay? I was a huge book geek, okay? I love books, okay? But at the same time, we are trying to figure out the best way of learning English, the most efficient way of learning English here, okay? But I will tell you, you can listen to audiobooks. That will be great. When you go outside, when you take a walk, you see me listening to something all the time. And if you like books, you're reading books so much, get the audiobooks of the books and listen to them. Every single time, at any given opportunity, listen to the audiobooks. Listening to audiobook is great, but learn English with the books, learn English, trying to improve your speaking skill with books, no matter how realistic the conversation are, is not the best way. If you notice me, I read the Book of Normal People, but I didn't learn English with the Book of Normal People. I only learned English with the Script of Normal People. And Sally Rooney, the author of this book, says that converting the book into script was a whole another level, was a whole another deal. It was a whole another thing, There's a huge difference between the dialogues that we see in movies and TV shows and the original book. Sally Rooney is known for her dialogues, her realistic dialogues, because her dialogues are incredibly realistic, guys. Even though she is known for her most realistic dialogues in her books, it was a challenge to turn her book into a script, into a show, because the dialogues, the scenario is so different when it comes to TV shows and movies. So this is why learning English with books will never be 100% the most efficient way of learning English, Today I wanted to spend some time outside because it's the last day of summer. Today is the last day of summer. Actually, it's not the last day of summer. Summer is already over. But as of today, the weather is gonna get so cold so rapidly. And this is why I wanted to take advantage of today and spend some time outside. Today is September 29 and it's almost like 30 degrees outside. So basically, I want to take advantage of today. And I hate fall, I don't like fall at all. I always feel so bad during fall, emotionally. I don't know, I love summer so much. Anyways. Okay, what is the best way of learning language? Let's talk about that. Normally, the best way of learning language is going to a country where, you can interact with people in English. Let's say you're going to America, and this is where you have to speak English, right? You have to speak English all the time. Now, this is obviously the best way, and this is the way that most of us can afford doing that, and it's just not affordable, So this is out of option, right? I want to talk about the similarities between learning English by going abroad and learning English with scripts. Now, when you go abroad, English-speaking country, you start to make memories in English. That's the first thing. The second thing is, you obviously have to speak English all the time. You're forced to use the language, And at some point, you start to think in English because you're constantly exposed to the language, So clearly, you improve your listening skill very fast. So these are the most important pros and advantages of learning English by going abroad. When you go abroad, obviously, we all can agree on that. You can learn English really fast. Now, the reason why, when you go to a new country, especially, speaking English countries, the reason why you learn the language very fast is because you make memories in your target language. What I mean by making memories, for instance, you make friends there, right? You make a girlfriend, boyfriend, best friends, and all the things that you experience with your friends, with your native English speaker friends, all the experiences are in English. So basically, when you think about those experiences, the only thing that you will be thinking is gonna be in English. The second best way of learning language is, my opinion, is scripts. The reason why it's scripts is because when you practice with scripts, you make memories in your target language. For instance, when I think about, taking someone out to dinner, the thing that comes to my mind is Robin.
The next night, I took her out to this little bistro in Brooklyn.
Wow, that is one badass blue French horn.
For instance, couch. I remember that, from Monica. Are you gonna crash on the couch?
You gonna crash on the couch?
So this is why when I practice with the scripts, actually I make memories in English, Rather than learning words, I make memories. So basically, when you practice with the scripts of movies and TV shows, you put yourself in character situation. So once you put yourself in character situation, it's always easier to remember so many words and so many lines from the TV shows and movies. You know what I mean? Okay, now, what are the similarities between learning English by going abroad and learning English with scripts? In both situations, you make memories in your target language, and that's the most important thing. That's kind of like the key part of learning a new language. Like, the most important element of learning language is making memories. You make memories in your target language, because once you start to make memories in English, you start to speak and think in English. The other thing is, in both situations, you learn words without memorizing them. You don't have to memorize words. So by not memorizing words, by not learning English, through memorizing words, you never forget the words that you learn. Okay guys, I just got home, as you can see, and I've had my coffee while watching the videos of Emma Chamberlain. For the past few days, I was practicing. I've been practicing with Emma Chamberlain's video, YouTuber's Workday. Actually, where is that? Yeah, and now that I always show you guys. I most of the time show you guys how I learn English with the videos of Kennedy. And last day I got the urge to practice with the videos of Emma Chamberlain. And so this is why I watched this video during the coffee break again. Hey, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I literally have not played drums since the last time I filmed.
I literally have not played drums since the last time I filmed.
Today we're vlogging. Nothing new, nothing crazy.
Today we're vlogging. Nothing new, nothing crazy.
What my life looks like when I'm not just laying in bed reading and complaining about things.
What my life looks like when I'm not just laying in bed and reading books and complaining about things,
It's 8 in the morning. The first thing I have to do is make coffee. Actually, no, the first thing I have to do is feed the cat.
It's 8 in the morning, so the first thing I have to do is make coffee. Actually, no. The first thing I have to do is feed the cats. Actually, no. The first thing I have to do is feed the cats. They are literally whining at me and getting angry, so I just spilled cat food all over my counter. First step is making coffee, of course. If I drink too much coffee in a day, it hurts my stomach, so it hurts my IBS. Because if I drink so much coffee in a day, it hurts my IBS.